9. An international lawsuit. Russia's investigative committee is taking action against Meta, the parent company of Facebook and Instagram, for allegedly illegally encouraging violence against the country's citizens. They recently filed a criminal lawsuit against the platform based on a temporary policy change that allows users to express angry and violent rhetoric regarding the Russian military's ongoing invasion of Ukraine. The legal action, which was started in March, accuses Meta of making public calls for extremist activities and assisting terrorist activities. The company released a statement claiming that the policy change does not permit users to advocate for violence against Russian civilians, unless it's related to the Ukraine invasion. After some internal emails were obtained by Reuters, Meta clarified that the policy change only applies to Facebook users in Ukraine. In a statement to CNN, the company further elaborated by saying that they directed the loosened rule toward people who warfare directly affects, and that they only allow violent statements against the invading Russian military. For example, it's permissible for a Facebook user in Ukraine to write "Death to the Russian invaders." But Russian officials were unsatisfied with this explanation. The government is restricting its civilians' access to Meta's social media platforms. They've also restricted access to Twitter in the country. Meta continues to assert that it does not believe in violence against Russians who are not in the military. Describing the newly imposed social media limitations as terrifying, the head of Instagram, Adam Mosseri, said that around 80 million people would lose access to the social media network. He also said that the company is doing everything it can to keep people safe. 8. Smiley Martin. A recent tragic mass shooting in downtown Sacramento rocked the city and saw 6 people dead and 12 wounded. Hours before the horrifying crime occurred, people saw one suspect, 27-year-old Smiley Martin, on Facebook waving around a gun and talking about going to a nightclub. Martin was among the 12 wounded in the shooting, but they later arrested him on suspicion of being involved. So it doesn't exactly look like he'll be going home to recuperate after receiving treatment for his wounds. Police and the Sacramento Bee got the 15-minute clip before someone removed it from social media. It appears they filmed it outside a pair of apartment complexes, but the exact location is unknown. In the video, we can hear Smiley talking to a group of people about going to a club, but then mentioning that he didn't plan to go because he didn't have his ID. He then pointed a handgun, which investigators believe he'd stolen and modified, straight toward the camera. The footage also featured one victim, 32-year-old Joshua Hoyluchesi, who died in the shooting. During the video, a patrol car passes by the group and asks the men if they've seen a missing child. They say no, and the officers drive away. The Sacramento police are still sorting out the details of what happened. For now, they seem hesitant to discuss the particulars. Evidence suggests that the violence was gang-related, that there were at least 5 shooters, and that 2 or more of the people who died were gang members. Based on records, it seems like the shootout may have stemmed from the long-running rivalry between Crips and Bloods. Just a year before the shooting, District Attorney Anne-Marie Schubert had vocally opposed Martin's early release from prison on assault and deadly weapons charges. She described the man as a career criminal and a threat to society. And, in hindsight, it seems like she was right, but he was released. Now that he's accused of yet another serious crime, he may not get off the hook so easily. 7. Chloe Jones. A 23-year-old Pennsylvania woman named Chloe Jones seemed more amused than scared when she saw herself listed as a wanted person on the Greene County Sheriff's Office's Facebook page in 2019. She responded to the post with snarky comments, including one remark in which she asked the agency if they do pickup or delivery. Police wanted Jones for allegedly failing to appear in court on a misdemeanor assault case. But it was most likely her behavior on Facebook, rather than the crime they accused her of, that prompted other social media users to encourage her to turn herself in. People seemed rather put off by her attitude, which they described using words like immature, embarrassing, and trashy. The backsassing young fugitive revealed in the heated back and forth that her original charge stemmed from a fight she got into during a previous jail stint. She claimed she hadn't shown up for court because her boyfriend was in the hospital. In her defense, she rightfully pointed out that none of the people bashing her had ever met her personally and didn't know her. The war of words backfired on Jones when tips came pouring into law enforcement. Police tracked her down in neighboring West Virginia and had her extradited to Pennsylvania. Since then, it appears as though she's sorted out her legal issues and moved on with her life. 6. Amy Sharp. In an entertaining display of the teenage tendency to have wayward priorities, a young Australian lady named Amy Sharp seemed less concerned that police wanted her for a crime than she was about the unflattering mugshot that 7 News Sydney used in a social media post about her in 2016. The news outlet uploaded 2 photos of the 18-year-old, along with a police statement about how they wanted her because she'd escaped from jail. Instead of facing her mounting legal issues head-on, Sharp contacted 7 News and asked if they would use a more flattering picture. She even shared some hand-picked photos of herself that she wanted the mugshots replaced with. Although she was on the run, they considered Amy a low-risk offender, so the good news was that the police didn't think she was dangerous. They captured her near the complex she escaped from shortly after they issued the wanted alert. Fleeing turned out to be a terrible decision for Miss Sharp, who faced an additional charge of escaping lawful custody. New South Wales police declined to comment on whether Amy's comment helped them track her down. 5. Nicasia James. In early 2016, a young man named Dorian Powell turned up dead in San Bernardino County, California. Someone had stabbed him in the chest with a kitchen knife. It wasn't long before police turned their attention towards the 21-year-old's girlfriend, 18-year-old Nicasia James, who allegedly took credit for the brutal crime in a social media post. Nicasia reportedly wrote that a fight erupted between the couple when Dorian was drunk, and he struck her in the face. Nicasia said that she reacted by grabbing a knife and stabbing him. She said that she didn't intend to hurt him, suggesting that perhaps she was defending herself. The young woman finished the post with an apology to Dorian, along with RIP. The post fell in line with what Nicasia's brother and his girlfriend, who she left behind at the apartment when she fled the scene, told the police. Investigators soon tracked her down and charged her with murder. She pleaded not guilty, and it's unclear how the case panned out. By the time the matter went to court, Nicasia deleted her social media confession, and the police declined to comment on the matter. 4. Marketplace carjackings. The US Department of Justice just announced the arrest of 8 suspects who were allegedly involved in a federal carjacking scheme and other violent crimes in Philadelphia and the surrounding area. In some incidents, criminals surprised victims while filling their gas tanks or talking on their phones inside their parked vehicles. Another carjacking involved a custom-made ghost gun, which refers to a firearm that's assembled at home and is therefore untraceable. In this incident, 2 perpetrators held up a motorist, then got into a high-speed chase with police. They crashed the stolen vehicle into another car, causing life-threatening injuries to the other driver. Police accused one suspect, 23-year-old Camden, New Jersey resident Sean Allen, of finding his victims on Facebook Marketplace, where they advertised their used cars for sale. Allen allegedly contacted the individuals, pretending to be someone interested in buying their vehicle. Then he reportedly met up with them, threatened them with a gun, and stole their car. The carjackers certainly got creative. Besides targeting people who were sitting in their cars, distracted, and victims they found on social media, they held up rideshare drivers, as well as one person who was waiting for a train with their car parked at the station, and another who was in their vehicle waiting for a parking space to become available. 3. Heard it through the grapevine. A mom from Detroit named Talisha Oldham was shocked to find out through social media that they allegedly attacked her son Adriel on the school bus. A disturbing video that was captured by a fellow student and made its way to Facebook appears to show the 6-year-old being punched, thrown, and sat on. And it wasn't one of the boy's classmates who hurt him, according to a lawsuit recently filed by Oldham, which accuses the bus driver and another employee of committing the horrifying act. In hindsight, Talisha remembered Adriel wasn't acting like himself when he arrived home from school that day. She told Click on Detroit that her son was lethargic, didn't want his afternoon snack, and slept for hours. It outraged Oldham when the video surfaced, especially since nobody from the Detroit public school system had notified her of the incident. It's even more troubling that Adriel is autistic and struggles to communicate, making him especially vulnerable to abuse. Talisha's attorney, Arnold Reed, said that every single mechanism designed to protect this child failed, and that those mechanisms are still failing. Neither he nor Talisha knows what led up to the heartbreaking and infuriating actions against little Adriel. The school district claimed it sent an automated call to parents after learning of the incident, but the lawsuit accuses the district of lacking in its response to what happened. They fired the bus driver after the allegations came to light, and they cleared another staff member of any wrongdoing. Adriel is now being homeschooled so that his mother can ensure his safety and well-being at all times. 2. Jonathan Robinson. A 28-year-old resident of Dale, South Carolina, named Jonathan Robinson recently found himself on the wrong side of the law after he allegedly robbed a Facebook seller at gunpoint. According to police, he responded to an advertisement for a used video game console and made plans to meet up with the seller at a restaurant. Robinson then reportedly changed the meeting location to a local community center, where he pulled a gun on the unsuspecting seller and demanded the man's wallet, watch, cell phone, and the gaming system. Robinson fired no shots, and they reported no injuries, but he's still facing some serious consequences for his alarming behavior. Not long after the robbery, police pulled him over and took him into custody on warrants related to the allegations against him. Police charged the suspect with armed robbery and possession of a weapon in the commission of a violent crime. He's currently in custody as he awaits the next step to sorting things out with the justice system. The incident reflects a bigger problem in the area, according to the Beaufort County Sheriff's Office, which noted that this was at least the 4th armed robbery in recent months where they victimized someone via Facebook Marketplace and other selling platforms. This may create a new saying, seller beware, rather than the old one, buyer beware. 1. Daniel Clark. In one of the most bizarre internet stalking cases to make headlines recently, they accused a British man named Daniel Clark of carrying out a vile campaign harassment against a 20-year-old woman, her boyfriend, and her parents between late 2020 and early 2021. The victim didn't know Clark when he messaged her and told her to stop following him on her yellow moped. She doesn't own a yellow moped, so she thought nothing of the message and ignored it. Things escalated quickly. 30-year-old Clark soon began publicly accusing the woman's parents of being pedophiles. He also sent her sickening messages and photos, including at least one image of male private parts. The deranged stalker eventually began making terrifying threats against his victims, saying that he was going to kill the woman's parents and stating his plans to murder her as well. He made other cryptic but worrisome promises, including, in his words, "You're going to pay big time for what your family has done to me." Clark also sent the woman a photo of a knife sitting on his leg and ultimately showed up at her house with a metal bar in his hand. She went to the police, and when they tracked him down, they found the knife in his possession. Finally, they arrested Clark. He reportedly admitted to stalking the woman and sending malicious messages to her and her family. A judge ordered him to go to rehab, wear a tracking device, and undergo 2 years of supervision. They issued the victim an indefinite restraining order, but the stalking traumatizes her. She said in court that she feels unsafe and is afraid to go outside, especially at night. Thanks for watching. Would you rather have Facebook ban you for an entire year or get caught up in a viral social media scandal that makes national headlines? Let me know in the comments below. Hit that subscribe button and give us a thumbs up if you haven't already. See you soon.